with a combination of the most dangerous military arsenals in the world, the United States military remains a force to contend with. From the technologically advanced fighter jets like the F-22 that boast unparalleled speed, stealth, and sophisticated armaments, to the vessels that dominate the seas with their mind-blowing capabilities that no other nation in the world can defeat, this country that is forever at the forefront of technological advancement has set the standard. What are the United States' most lethal military arsenals? But how does the U.S. compare to Russia's military capabilities? Join us as we unveil the U.S.'s most advanced military superpower, which is ready to beat Russia in 40 seconds or even less. The U.S. Armed Forces have been viewed as the most powerful military globally, especially since the Cold War ended. In 2022, the United States spent $916 billion on its military, the highest in the world, making up 37% of global defense spending. This large budget gives the U.S. military strong defense and power projection abilities, leading to advanced technologies and the ability to station forces worldwide. With about 800 bases outside the U.S., apart from having the most powerful armed forces in the world, this country's Air Force is the largest in the world, followed by the U.S. Army Aviation Branch. The U.S. Naval Air Forces is the fourth largest air force globally and the biggest naval aviation service, while the U.S. Marine Corps Aviation is the seventh largest air arm. The U.S. Navy is the largest Navy by ship tonnage, and the U.S. Coast Guard is the world's 12th largest maritime force. The United States Air Force also has the most versatile and powerful fighter jet fleets in the world, with a variety of jets for different missions. From the modern stealth F-22 Raptor to the reliable older models like the F-16 Fighting Falcon and F-15 Eagle, each jet has its own unique strengths. Choosing the best aircraft is challenging because it depends on each jet's design, purpose, and mission capabilities. The top jet for a dogfight might not be the best for air superiority, and the ideal plane for ground attacks could be different altogether. However, some fighter jets excel in specific roles and stand out from the rest. Let's explore the unique capabilities of the best fighter jets in the United States Air Force, beginning with the F-15 Eagle. The McDonnell Douglas F-15 Eagle is renowned for being the fastest aircraft in the United States Air Force, making it highly capable in combat. According to Air and Space Forces magazine, this formidable air fighter can reach speeds of up to Mach 2.5, surpassing other fighter jets like the F-22 Raptor, which has a top speed of Mach 2.2. This aircraft is the third fastest fighter jet ever built, behind only the experimental YF-12 Interceptor variant of the SR-71 Blackbird and the Soviet Union's MiG-25 and MiG-31 supersonic fighters. The MiG-25 is now only used in a few countries like Libya and Syria, but the MiG-31 is still an essential part of the Russian aerospace forces and remains in active service. A key role of the aircraft was to detect enemy planes from far away, thanks to its powerful radar system. In fact, an F-15 pilot could target an enemy aircraft before even seeing it visually. However, in practice, the pilot would still need to confirm if the target ahead was actually an enemy. In addition, the chaos of war and the presence of Allied troops often means that the pilot needs to target them before fighting them in the air. The F-15's radar is large, with the aircraft measuring 64 feet in length and 43 feet in width, which is much wider than a tennis court. It has two engines, giving it more power than its counterpart, the single-engine F-16. One unique feature of this air fighter compared to other modern fighter jets is that it doesn't have turkey feather covers on its engine nozzles. These covers were removed because they caused problems and increased air resistance by 3 purposes. The F-15 is heavily armed and highly capable, making it an excellent combat fighter that has been in service for decades. It has a maximum range of 3,500 miles with external fuel tanks, is powered by 2 Pratt & Whitney F100 afterburning turbofan engines, and has a service ceiling of 65,000 feet. Its maximum takeoff weight is 68,000 pounds. The F-15 Eagle is here to stay and will continue to serve the Air Force for many years. The latest variant, the F-15EX, is being produced by Boeing and features impressive armament and improved operational capabilities. When we think of fighter jets traditionally, we imagine a one-on-one dogfight where one pilot wins and the other loses. While this was true in World Wars I and II, fighter jets today serve a variety of roles. Even so, the idea of the best dogfighter is still relevant. Among U.S. fighter jets, the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor stands out. According to the national interest, the Raptor excels in maneuverability and combat capabilities, making it more effective than other fighters. Although the F-35 is a versatile jet designed for various roles, the F-22 was specifically built to be the top air superiority fighter. The aircraft also features advanced stealth technology, making it hard for enemy radars to detect and allowing it to strike first. It carries 6 AIM-120C/D air-to-air missiles and 2 AIM-9M/X Sidewinder missiles, all guided by sophisticated systems that make the F-22 a powerful combat aircraft. The latest fighter jet in the United States Air Force is the F-35 Lightning II, designed from scratch by Lockheed Martin. It's unique not for any single feature, but for its ability to handle a wide range of tasks very effectively. It is the most advanced fighter jet ever used by the Air Force, capable of tackling the toughest missions. According to Lockheed Martin, it's equipped to deal with future threats, with technology that allows the jets to communicate and target enemy aircraft at the same time. This aircraft has the best stealth technology available, making it hard for enemy radar to detect and giving it a strong advantage for surprise attacks. With more than 1,000 of these jets already built and more still being produced, the F-35 will be a key part of the U.S. Air Force's fighter fleet for many years to come. Let's move on to the Sentinels of the Sea. The United States Navy is the naval branch of the U.S. military and one of the 8 uniformed services of the country. It's the most powerful Navy in the world and the largest by tonnage, with 4.5 million tons in 2021. In 2009, its fleet was larger than the next 13 navies combined. The USN has the largest number of aircraft carriers globally, with 11 currently in service, 1 in trials, 2 under construction, and 6 more planned by 2024. It has about 337,000 active personnel and 102,000 in the Ready Reserve, making it the 3rd largest branch of the U.S. military in terms of personnel. As of July 2023, it operates 299 deployable combat ships and around 4,000 aircraft carriers. The U.S. Navy started with the Continental Navy during the American Revolutionary War, but was soon disbanded. After losses to Barbary pirates, Congress passed the Naval Act of 1794 to build 6 frigates, marking the beginning of the Navy. It played key roles in the American Civil War and World War II, becoming the world's most powerful Navy after WWII. Today, it maintains a strong global presence, especially in the Western Pacific, Mediterranean, and Indian Ocean. It can operate far from shore, support peacetime missions, and quickly respond to crises, making it vital to U.S. foreign and military policy. The U.S. Navy is part of the Department of the Navy, which also includes the Marine Corps. This department is overseen by the Civilian Secretary of the Navy, and the Navy is a part of the Department of Defense, led by the Secretary of Defense. The Chief of Naval Operations is the highest-ranking Navy officer in the Department of the Navy. The U.S. Navy has had some impressive ships that really stand out. Here are some of the vessels that make the United States Navy one of the most powerful in the world. The Nimitz-class aircraft carrier has been a key part of the U.S. Navy's fleet for almost 50 years. Weighing about 100,000 tons and carrying over 5,000 crew members, these carriers have been a major force. They might not have been the first nuclear-powered carriers, but they perfected the design. Equipped with F/A-18 Hornets, E/A-18G Growlers, anti-submarine helicopters, and early warning systems, these vessels are powerful for both defense and projecting power globally. They are a class of 10 nuclear-powered aircraft carriers in service with the United States Navy. The lead ship of the class is named after World War II United States Pacific Fleet Commander, Fleet Admiral Chester W. Nimitz, who was the last living U.S. Navy officer to hold the rank. With an overall length of a little above 1,000 feet and a full load displacement of over 100,000 long tons, the Nimitz-class ships were the largest warships built and in service until USS Gerald R. Ford entered the fleet recently. What makes this battleship better than those of other technologically advanced nations is that instead of using gas turbines or diesel-electric systems like many modern warships, these carriers use 2 special reactors called A4W pressurized water reactors. The Nimitz-class aircraft carriers are really big, with a length of about 1,092 feet overall and a width of about 252 feet. They were supposed to weigh about 87,000 tons when fully loaded, but ended up being heavier, especially the later ones in the group. Just as imagined, the USS Gerald Ford is also one of the most formidable aircraft carrier. It is the latest and most advanced carrier. It is also nuclear-powered but uses a new A-1B reactor that provides much more power than the Nimitz-class carriers. The Ford-class aircraft carrier needs a lot of power for its EMALS catapult system, which uses strong electromagnets to launch aircraft. The arresting gear that brings planes back also uses electromagnets instead of steam, making landings smoother and less stressful on the aircraft. This vessel is denoted as the peak of naval expertise for a reason. It represents the United States Navy's technological skill and military strength. This ship is the leader among the Gerald R. Ford-class aircraft carriers. It's a way of showing respect to the 38th President of the United States, Gerald Ford, who made a significant impact during World War II while serving on the Monterey, a smaller aircraft carrier. The construction process of the USS Gerald R. Ford began on August 11, 2005, and it was marked by Northrop Grumman's ceremonial steel cut for a 15-ton plate integral to the carrier's sideshell unit. This important occasion was the beginning of a project that would redefine naval capabilities in the United States. The keel of the carrier was laid down on November 13, 2009, setting the foundation for a vessel that would consist of the latest technology and power. This carrier has no rival when it comes to its size and capabilities. With a displacement of about 100,000 long tons at full load, it boasts a length ranging from 1,092 feet to 1,106 feet. The carrier's flight deck spans an impressive 256 feet in width, while the waterline beam measures 134 feet. Standing at a height of 250 feet and comprising 25 decks, this floating fortress represents a formidable presence on the world's oceans. The heart of the USS Gerald R. Ford's power lies in its propulsion system. Fueled by two Bechtel A-1B PWR nuclear reactors with HEU 93.5%, the carrier operates 4 shafts, propelling it at speeds in excess of 30 knots, 56 kilometers per hour, which is about 35 miles per hour. The range is estimated to be approximately 25 years before requiring a midlife refuel, emphasizing its sustained operational capabilities. Accommodating a complement of 4,539, including the air wing, the carrier is home to several array of sensors and processing systems. Among them are the AN/SPY-3 multifunction radar X-band active electronically scanned array and the AN/SPY-4 volume search radar S-band active electronically scanned array. The carrier's armament includes surface-to-air missiles such as the RIM-162 ESSM launchers and the RIM-116 of RAM. Defensive capabilities are further enhanced with 3 failing CIWs and 4 MK38.25mm machine gun systems, along with 4 EM 2.50 caliber 12.7mm machine guns. The aviation facilities of the USS Gerald R. Ford are equally impressive, featuring a flight deck measuring 1,092 feet by 252 feet. With the capacity to carry over 75 aircraft, this carrier serves as a mobile airbase, extending the reach and capabilities of U.S. military air power. The significance of the USS Gerald R. Ford is beyond its size and technological capabilities. It entered active service, becoming a pivotal asset in the U.S. Navy's fleet, replacing the decommissioned USS Enterprise CVN-65 in December 2012 after 51 years of active duty. Originally slated for delivery in 2015, the USS Gerald R. Ford's arrival in the Navy on May 31, 2017, marked a new era in naval capabilities. Let's move on to the Block V Virginia-class submarines. These submarines are much bigger and more heavily armed than previous models. They are about 100 feet longer and displace over 2,000 tons more than earlier Virginia-class subs. These submarines include the Virginia Payload Module, which adds space for 16 more cruise missiles, totaling 28. This helps replace the older SSGNs and supports both anti-ship and land attack missions. During the Cold War, the Seawolf submarines were some of the most powerful in the world. With the Soviet Union building advanced submarines, the U.S. Navy needed a top-notch attack submarine to compete. The Seawolf class is the biggest attack sub the US has ever built and is very quiet. However, each one cost over $3 billion, which led to only 3 being made. The USS Seawolf, the newest of these submarines, went through sea trials off Connecticut before its commissioning in July 1997. Notably, the third submarine, the USS Jimmy Carter, is 100 feet longer than the others. This extra length houses the multi-mission platform, which is used for launching underwater vehicles and SEAL teams. It is also rumored that this platform might be used for covert wiretapping missions. The Seawolf-class submarines were designed to counter advanced Soviet submarines like the Typhoon and Akula classes in deep oceans. Their hulls are made from HY-100 steel, which is stronger than the high-80 steel used in earlier subs, allowing them to withstand greater water pressure. These submarines are bigger, faster, and much quieter than the previous Los Angeles-class submarines. They carry more weapons and have twice as many torpedo tubes. They can carry up to 50 UGM-109 Tomahawk cruise missiles for land and sea targets. They are also equipped for operations in shallow W-8ers and use the advanced ARCI modified AN/BSY-2 combat system, which includes a larger sonar array, a wide aperture array, and a new towed array sonar. Each submarine is powered by a single S6W nuclear reactor, producing 45,000 horsepower with a low-noise pump jet. However, due to their advanced design, Seawolf-class submarines were very expensive. The planned cost for 12 submarines was $33.6 billion, but only 3 were built after the Cold War ended. The Ohio-class ballistic submarines of the U.S. Navy were initially planned to last 42 years, but efforts have been made to extend their service. Developed in the 1970s, these submarines are the largest ever built for the Navy and are much better than older models in speed, quietness, and upkeep. They were designed for long strategic patrols. Each submarine has 2 full crews, called the Blue Crew and the Gold Crew, who each serve on 70 to 90-day patrols. To reduce the time spent in port for crew changes and resupply, the submarines have 3 large hatches for quick loading of supplies and equipment. These hatches allow for fast transfers of supplies and repairs, speeding up maintenance. The stealth capabilities of these submarines are much better than those of earlier models. During sea trials in 1982, the USS Ohio was almost undetectable, giving the U.S. Navy greater flexibility. The Ohio-class submarines can operate for about 15 years between major overhauls. They are reported to be as quiet at their cruising speed of 20 knots as the earlier Lafayette-class submarines at 6 knots, although exact details are classified. The Mark 48 torpedoes are controlled by the Mark 118 Mod 2 system, and the missile fire control is managed by the Mark 98 system. These submarines are built from sections that are 42 feet in diameter. The sections were made at General Dynamics Electric Boat in Rhode Island and assembled in Groton, Connecticut. The U.S. Navy has 18 Ohio-class submarines, including 14 ballistic missile submarines and 4 cruise missile submarines. The SSBNs make up the sea-based part of the U.S. nuclear triad, each carrying up to 20 Trident II ballistic missiles. The SSGNs can carry 154 Tomahawk cruise missiles and Harpoon missiles for launch through their torpedo tubes. They can carry almost twice as many Trident missiles as the older Lafayette class. They are powered by a GE-S8 Doshub nuclear reactor and 2 turbines, enabling them to reach a top speed of 18 knots on the surface and 25 knots underwater. These selected military arsenals represent the United States military power, and their sophisticated capabilities and uncommon design are proof of this advanced country's unparalleled military might. Thanks for watching. While you are still here, click on the link on your screen to check out another of our videos. See you there!